Hello, Jared here, and I'm back. And just like last video, it's been a long time. I think it's been about 8 or 9, maybe 10 months since my last update, because I think my last update was after Anthrocon 2023. But obviously, a lot's happened since then. So I thought it was time to make a new video and just kind of get you up to speed because there's definitely some important updates and some things happening, and I wanted to talk about that. Now, before I talk about that, the speed paint I have in front of you, I don't do a lot of these this way, but this is directly from the comic. This is a single panel, and as you're seeing, it looks like Arlo's putting his jacket down, and Archer looks pretty exhausted, and they are in his living room. I'm not going to get into what's going on in this scene because the ending of Volume 2 has a lot of big stuff going down and some big reveals. So this is kind of the calm before the storm, not to give too many spoilers, but I just thought, hey, I had this speed paint sitting around. I think I recorded it one night. It's like, this will work. You know, I had a couple, but I thought, let's do one that's like directly from the comics. So, you know, this isn't a hyper rendered piece. It's nothing like super painterly, but yeah, just to give you a little sneak peek of kind of the ending parts of Volume 2, this is a fun little shot. So for those that know a little bit what was going on, 2023 was a bit of a hard year for me, at least the first 8 months. Long story short, I was basically unemployed for a portion of the year doing freelance work, a lot of web work, a lot of odd jobs here and there while working on the comic. No, my comic does not pay my mortgage. It'd be cool if it did, but that's not the real world. Yes, I do have a day job. But long story short, I found a great position with an awesome company around August, and I honestly couldn't say more that it's a perfect fit. And the pay is really great, and the schedule and just everything that I do, it's just wonderful. So the work-life balance is great. Everything kind of fell back on track right after August. So good things there. But as far as the comic, that never stopped. I kept on chugging away. If there's one thing that never stops, it's the comic, right? But that's the next thing I wanted to get into. So as far as the comic is concerned, for events last year, I know I talked about Anthrocon, but then I ended up having MFF come up in Chicago. And that actually went really well. In fact, it's more than I expected. Funny story. So my brother-in-law, who also did some work on Volume 1, he helped me do some editing. He's going to be my booth buddy again. He was also my booth buddy at my debut, I believe, in 2022 Anthrocon. But he was supposed to meet me, or we were going to be together, and he was going to help me at my table. And he ended up getting COVID literally the day before the convention. Yes, COVID in Christmas 2023, right? And what's funny is I've always kind of expected one day this was going to happen where I would probably have to go to a convention alone. And I did. I trucked it, and I grabbed all my stuff. I just did it as usual without someone helping me, and I did the whole convention alone. I even had a panel that I had to host, and I did that alone. And it was the best panel I've had because I've given that panel 3 times now. And it gets a little bit better and more refined every time, but it was a great panel. I think there's like 80 to 100 people that showed up, and people gave me compliments saying it was very helpful and informative and, dare I say, funny. So I always try to embellish and work more and more on that panel, and I'm hoping I get to do that panel at Anthrocon 2024, which I'm going to be attending this year. So if you plan on being in the Pittsburgh area, definitely stop by tables S09 and S10. But I have yet to hear back if I'm approved for that panel yet or not. So I can't say that I'm doing it yet. But one thing I am happy about is a whole bunch of friends of mine are actually going as well. And it's going to be a blast. Like, I think this is going to be the most people I know ever going to a convention. So I have a booth buddy, an art friend that's going to be helping me out, and we're all in the same hotel. I'm really, really looking forward to it. But I will move on now to the book, The Big Elephant in the Room, Volume 2. So, what about Volume 2? Well, it's done. Volume 2 is finished, and it is already in the hands of my publisher. It has already been through the editing process, and we are finalizing everything for the book publication. So the goal is that Volume 2 will be on sale in person at Anthrocon at my table summer 2024. And you'll also be able to purchase it online. So I'm very pleased to say that. And we're working out logistics for advertising and how we're going to kind of promote everything. I have been thinking about doing a pre-launch Picardo stream. I don't know if I would take requests or have like a big party hangout session, but I have a lot of things that I've been planning and kind of thinking about to kind of help build up to this promotional part for Volume 2. I'm also printing all new banners. In fact, as of this recording, as I'm talking right now, I just ordered a new banner for my table about 5 to 10 minutes ago that I've been working days on, just scanning and scanning and scanning, looking for all the imperfections. But I also am going to have to do some restock on new canvases, and I've been thinking about doing a new piece. And it's one I've been thinking about for a long time that involves Lily and like sitting on the wing of an airship like at sunset. But I really have to figure out those logistics on like how I'm going to do it. I haven't actually started on the piece yet. I'm also looking into hiring 3D artists to do ship designs, especially moving forward for Volume 3, because Volume 3 is definitely going to have more ships involved and major scenes with ships. So without spoilers, I just wanted to throw out that little tidbit there. But yeah, that's where we're sitting, and I'm pretty excited. Everything is pretty much ready to go other than just ordering some last items and just figuring out some logistics with the convention coming up. So as far as any images involved in Volume 2, I always do this in every video. I'll go ahead and throw up about 7 or 8 of them. Granted, I'm not going to put any spoilers in here because I don't want to reveal that on this video, but it's mainly, I would say, the outgoing scenes of Volume 2 really surround Arlo and Archer. There's also a new character that I've introduced that Arlo's kind of having to deal with at the Academy, but it's really an Arlo and Archer piece. And this was a scene that I had planned 3 to 4 years ago. I couldn't wait to get to it. And you get to see new sides of characters you've never seen before. And it really goes a lot of places. I mean, there's humor, there's funny parts, but then it takes a turn. And I'm not going to get into that, but just know that there's going to be some definite surprises at the end and some things that are going to come full circle from the first book. So that's what I'm going to leave you with. But here's the screenshots I'm willing to show, and there you go. So, what does this mean for the future? What does this mean for Volume 3? Well, just like between Volumes 1 and 2, there is definitely a hiatus, right? I'm going to be committing a lot of my time this year to Volume 2 and its promotion, but I will also be working on Volume 3's script through the summer. And to let you know, Volume 3's script is about half done, maybe 60% done. And my goal is to have that final draft, maybe a revision or two, before I can break ground on it in the fall. It took me about 6 months to write Volume 2, but I was trying to get a head start on Volume 3, so there wasn't that big gap. But here's the thing. It takes me about a year to do roughly 40 pages. That's kind of my benchmark. And I need at least 40 pages on a buffer to release to even my Patreon followers. So part of me is wanting to release maybe 45 to 50 because honestly, these pages are getting so detailed and so longer to produce that I barely made the cut on the buffer for Volume 2. It got really, really close, and I was starting to sweat. So that's my only concern. But just keep in mind, there will probably be a good, I hate to say this, probably a good year before Volume 3 gets released or considered for release. However, in between that, if you're one of my Patreon followers, I will be posting production shots and development along that entire way. So I understand sometimes people just want to, be a supporter when there's a comic page released every Friday, but this is how it is, folks. I'm one person, I'm one human being, and I do everything. I do the writing, I do the art, I do it all. And honestly, I've taken what I want to believe is a well-deserved break from the comic. I've kind of been very sparse on my artwork in the last few weeks since I finished volume 2. So kind of like my mini vacation, but I'm never fully going on vacation. I still have to, plan for the conventions. I still have to work with my publisher and get this thing ready for print. So nothing's ever stopping. It's just I have to keep pivoting and pivoting and pivoting. So just be ready for that. There is going to be a hiatus. The pages are still going to keep posting every Friday until they run dry. The Patreon supporters have about maybe 15 to 20 pages left, and the public has probably a good 6 months left, 8 months left. So they're not going to feel it as much as my supporters, but just wanted to be transparent, just wanted to give you a heads up. So other than that, I think that's just about everything I wanted to talk about. I hope to not have as long a break between each of these videos. It's just the problem is I just want to make sure that I have something to talk about every time I make one of these videos. So I feel like there was enough content here. I will leave a link in the description below where you can purchase Volume 1, or if you want to subscribe for updates, Patreon, all that jazz. No pun intended, if you know my comic. But actually, quick funny story about that. I actually want to bring that up. When I was going through the editing process with my publisher, for those that know me, like I like jazz. I like cool jazz, bebop, Dave Brubeck, Miles Davis, all those. Well, I put actual notation of Dave Brubeck's Take 5 in my comic. And my publisher, when they were reviewing it, spotted it, and they knew Dave Brubeck's Take 5. And of course, the grayest copyright area ever, I had to pull it out. And the thing is, I remember when I put that in there, I went, should I? I don't know. Can I? And then the publisher was like, no, we don't even want to mess with that. It's way too muddy with the copyrights. So I had to go back and completely rewrite some type of original tune and actually pull out my own musical notes. Like because I used to be a composer. I say used to be, but yeah, I used to write music all the time for like orchestra and stuff. So I had to write my own stuff, and it was everywhere, littered through the comic. And I had to update like 5 or 6 pages to get rid of Dave Brubeck's Take 5 out of my comics. So fun fact there. Just wanted to let you know. I completely derailed what I was going to say, but I thought that you guys should all know that. But other than that, like, comment, subscribe, smash the like button. Oh God, I'm going to be that guy for the moment. But thanks for watching. I hope to see any of you there at the conventions later this year, Anthrocon 2024. And other than that, I'll see you next time.